Hey guys, it's Archieluxury on the Archieluxury channel. And I just want to talk to you guys on my channel here and just let you know how I'm going. It is today, it's the 19th, it's the week leading up to Christmas. It's the week leading up to Christmas. And I gotta tell you, how am I going? How are things going indeed? Well, you know what? It's been very difficult. I've had a roller coaster, a range of emotions. The burglary has really hit me very, very hard. Okay, it's really hit me. It's knocked me for six. And you know, I always, in my planning, okay, I always thought I could lose my YouTube business, okay? It could end tomorrow. They could change the algorithm, or they demonetize certain things. Business is over. It's always been at the back of my mind, and I was ready to walk away from the business. One thing I was never prepared for was to lose my collection like that. And I gotta be honest with you, that has been incredibly difficult. And the problem I've got is I had certain security at my home. However, because the robbery is being investigated, I've been advised not to talk about it, which makes it really difficult because people throw arguments out there. Oh, why didn't you do this? And even though I did do this, I can't say it. So it makes it really frustrating. And I've got to tell you, it's a very, very strange sensation. It's a surreal sensation. And I remember weeks or months before the robbery, I used to pinch myself that I owned these beautiful things. I thought, this can't be real. I used to pinch myself I'm very much someone who likes taking photos. Okay, whether it's on my Google phone, or a camera. I like taking photos, and I take a set. You know, you put together a steel sports set, and I think, shit, that's a good little sub collect. You know, I had a photo where I had steel Rolex, my steel 41mm sub date. I had my Breguet Type 20, Omega Speedmaster, Man on the Moon, and the Reverso. Those four in my Louis Vuitton box, the back row, just one row. And I thought, shit, that's a great little collection. I don't have that anymore. Don't have that anymore. And you look at that photo and think, shit. You look at photos of the Patek's and say, shit. Look at photos of the Rolex, shit. So it's really quite difficult. And I've had a lot of anxiety. I've been I've had a lot of you get anxiety, your mind plays, you start, it's kind of strange. What I found myself happening, it took a while for the shock to hit, and then it really hit. And that's where I stopped making content for a while there. And I've now coming out of that. I'm now saying, shit, I got some paid reviews banked up. So what I actually did I have these things called run sheets. So every time somebody pays me money, I print out a piece of paper with their review on them, okay? So I use a numbering system. So what I've done is, I started yesterday, I thought, right, so I print out my PayPal money received in, and I work out which ones are paid reviews. So then I started going. So to give you an idea, QE1, that's a paid review. QE2 was for Brian. QE3, and I've gone all the way up to QE14, and I'm still doing that today. So I've started printing these out. So I print these out, and then that's how I make my videos. So basically what happens is the money comes in, and then I print out the job sheet. So I actually have started, so this motivates me. I see the jobs on the floor on these sheets, and I start making the videos. So I got to tell you, the robbery itself there, the last thing I wanted to do was talk about other people's watches. But you know what? That's what my job is. And you've got to keep the wheels moving. You've got to keep the motion going. And people really love those paid reviews. So I have started doing that again. I thought this negativity just can't go on. You've got to say, right, Arch, I'm doing a daily stream. That takes a bit out of you. 3-hour stream. That takes a bit out of you. But I've also got to get these done. Get them done, sunshine. Because people, that's what they want. So I'm just going to move this up. Just move this up so that I've got it all. I don't roll my chair on top of that. So you can see what I mean. That's what I do. I do the reviews. I want to get them out. So yeah, it's been difficult. Also mentally, I've now come to realize that collection is very unlikely to come back. It's very unlikely to come back. And I need to focus on building new. That's what I need to do, is focus on the new. So yeah, that's important things to do. Now, as for the room, I've also, I've had to submit an insurance claim, and it's currently working through that. They have processes they do. Sometimes these processes don't feel supportive, considering the fact that you've had the indignity of being robbed and your personal items touched. And unfortunately, the insurance process also is very, how do I say it? The insurance process, it is systemized, of course, to make sure they pay genuine claims as opposed to fraudulent claims. They have a set procedure they need to go through, and that can be very depersonalized, and it can be quite intimidating. That process can be very intimidating, and I understand why they do that, because they need to make sure that this is a very they've got to make sure, they've got to do their due diligence as you'd expect them to do. It just doesn't feel friendly. But I understand the processes. So for me, what I've done is I've said, righto, what do we have to do? So as soon as this burglary happened, I immediately, you've got to react to this. Okay, so immediately you want to get the security. You want to change, because keys were stolen, so you want to change all the locks in the house. Completely rekey the house. Then we had my car, the BMW, all the keys were in the safe, they were taken. You need to get new key for the car, otherwise you can't drive the bloody thing. So we had to get that fixed. Quite expensive, I might add, as well. And then I've looked at the situation and said, right, we've got to get the room start to cleaned up. It had concrete, broken glass, shit all over it. So, right, we're going to have to get this. You don't want to just leave it like that. So what I did was I immediately, after SOCO, the scientific police had been through it, and I immediately started to get it cleaned. Got professionals to help a bit. Then I did some stuff myself. And mind you, the insurance company hasn't given me one brass razoo, but I've said, right, let's get the old safe out. That's a horrible reminder of the burglary. Let's get that bloody thing out of here. Then the carpet has got paint all over it. You want to get the carpet replaced. And then we'll start to do some little repairs. What I did is some of the furniture that had paint and shit put all over it, I've tried to clean it up. Now it hasn't come up perfectly. It's not back to normal, but it's back to, it's usable until insurance money comes and I can slowly replace this stuff. So I've got my own procedures. I've decided to, obviously, with the amount of damage that's occurred, like curtains were damaged and they got dust and paint on them. Well, I've just said, you know what? Instead of getting that expense now, replacing them now, I said, righto, let's get them washed. I'll just wash them in the washing machine and hang them up. Now they've still got paint on them, but the dust from when they broke into the safe is gone, and they're usable until I replace them. And you know they'll surface. A lot of the furniture was damaged. They put paint and let it sit there for weeks, for a week or two. Well, I've scraped it off as best I could, and yes, the surface it's not going to be back to how it was, but at least it's usable. When it's got oil and paint on it, you can't really put stuff on top because you will damage it. So I've gone through this process to slowly get things cleaned and back to normal. I'm not replacing furniture until the case with the insurance is closed, because they haven't given me a brass razoo. So I'm reluctant to spend money on that until we have some closure. So I've spent money on things like I wanted the olds. I had to do keys for the house, keys for the car, remove the safe because it's a horrible eyesore, replace the carpet, start cleaning up. That doesn't, besides time, it's not costing a fortune to clean the curtains or clean some of the furniture. And what I'm hoping is in the new year, we've got the new carpet coming. So what that will do is, to be able to remove the old carpet, I got to take everything out of here. So I will take everything out, and when I'm putting it back, once everything is out, it'll allow me also, I'll dust the walls. I've got a nice blower. I'll get rid of the dust, because it's got this weird smell to the room after this burglary. It's got a weird smell. I'm trying to get the smell out of the air conditioner, but I don't know what I can do there. I might just have to replace it because It's got this weird smell from, obviously, when they were doing the burglary, cutting into this thing, they wanted to cool the temperature, so they had it on, and it got a lot of the oil and dust shit going through it. So I'm working on getting it back, the room back to normal. And I'm starting to get back into the working. I've got the run sheets printed. So it's still very hard mentally. I think myself, I'm making steps, okay? Once the carpet is done and I've taken everything out and cleaned it and put it back in, I'm going to make sure I don't bring stuff in that's obviously painted or damaged. Or as a reminder, I want to try and get that stuff out and then maybe slowly replace it. I think once the insurance matter is closed, we'll have some closure and move on. I mean, obviously they have a system they have to follow, which you can understand. And I think once we have some closure on the insurance, well, hopefully we'll have some money which can help pay to rebuild the studio, can replace some pieces. That'll be quite good. So yeah, it's a long process. So guys, just giving you update week leading into Christmas. So yeah, it's still very painful. My brain, I get tired because in the day you process so many, you're still thinking about these things. But in the morning I wake up with terrible thoughts like I don't have the collection, where's it gone? Things like that. You just worry because it was also a reserve of money. So guys, that's my update. Tell me what you guys think of that.